18th.
18. All right. You shooting?
Yeah,
All right.
she.
Good morning, everyone. This is Sean and Steve, who's behind the camera. We're here at Oakland Cemetery, and we're over here at the stone of Jeremiah Long. And you might be asking, what are we doing here? So we have this cross was actually in the ground. It had fell over, and you can't really see it with the angle that we have, but there's a pin that's on the top of the main stone. And basically what we're trying to do today is we're gonna move this cross and then at least set it on the top of the main stone. And later we'll determine, based off of how stable it is, if we need to put some epoxy on the base, and then we'll probably hit the epoxy up later just to make sure it's really secure. Unlike the tripod that you saw in the previous videos where we have a shorter, heavier stone, we're actually using this 10-foot tripod because, as you see, we need to get to the height of this stone to go over this cross to go over the main stone. And we have a lighter chain fall that we're working with, and then other than that, we'll give you a follow-up here in the next video. We'll see you soon. It's Sean and Steve back again here at Oakland Cemetery. We have our tripod set up, and one thing we wanted to kind of point out to you is when we get this whole thing set up, the tripod, chain fall, and whatever object, in this case the cross, when you're trying to move it up, last thing you want to do is get this thing raised all the way up and come to find out you're a few inches short. So now you're going to have to redo everything. So what we did is Mr. Harmon measured this out to be 38 inches. So right about here on the measuring tape. And then based off of where your hook's going to carry, you want to make sure you have enough length. So right now, we're probably about 40 inches right here. So when we raise the cross, it's going to have enough room to where we can move the cross and manipulate it over the main stone, and then we should be good to go. And that's our goal right now, and we'll give it a go.
I'll untie that strap.
Shouldn't be too much.
But if worse comes to worse, we'll take another foot wraps it there.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, you got it? Oh, yeah, you got it.
You have to take that out with Steve.
Yeah.
Actually, if you run that strap around this carpet,
Oh, that's not very good idea, too.
and then that way,
Anything to help.
yep.
If I can get it off, well, still, it's hung up on the,
Where's the singles? Oh yeah, we got it right here. There you go. Sean and Steve back again here at Oakland Cemetery. One of the things that we pointed out before is to have your chain fall or your setup, your lifting setup, high enough that when you raise the component, in this case Mr. Long's cross, you want to make sure it clears when it gets up. The issue that we had before, we're probably just a few inches shy of where we needed to be. So what we did is we took the straps that are up here, ran them across the tripod a couple of times, and that should give us a few inches that will allow this cross to clear when we actually raise it up. So we're going to give it a go, and we'll be right back.
You know what else you didn't account for?
Yeah.
Look, you're a submarine.
Yep.
So this is what you use to go in and out that damn valve hole with the hatches. So you don't have no crane.
Yep. Are you around? Are you good on the carpet?
You didn't have to go so far.
Yeah. So you gotta work out. I can only imagine, like, for those larger ones, you have to. Long money.
Okay, calm down.
Yeah.
See what I mean about how it just sits up there?
Yeah.
You can see about 12.
Yep.
You go all the way off.
Oh no, it's light enough. There you go. I think you will have to go with the epoxy, or maybe that stud, the way it's rusted on the bottom.
They waddled the hole out.
Okay.
But I mean, this is the way it's always been.
Okay.
I mean, if it ain't like it's always been this way.
Right.
For what year? Died December the 24th, 1898.
Yep. So I mean, off its own weight, I think sure. And then if there's, I mean, yeah,
That's the way it's been.
yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna let it off a little bit of slack, and then just move it backwards.
Well, I tell you what, let me. I'm gonna look at this hut here and see what we got.
Okay.
I'm gonna cut the camera off a minute.
Sounds good.
Do you want to do a debrief on that?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah. Okay. You want me to just on the same take, or?
No, I'll let.
Sean and Steve back here at Oakland Cemetery. So if you look at it now, compared to the cross that was here on the ground, which was initially face down in the ground, to Jeremiah Long's stone, we were able to get the cross up. One thing, like we discussed in the video, is that we were able to clear our height, but then our lifting mechanism, in this case here, the chain fall, was so high up when we had it set, we couldn't let it down, just because this little piece right here, I don't know if you can see it, but was just stuck in the same chain fall. So little things like that you learn over time. But to help reinforce this cross over Mr. Long's stone, we just used a standard epoxy just to kind of further reinforce what we have here. even without using the epoxy, the stone is pretty heavy, and it's steady on itself just along with the pin. But we just kind of put the epoxy in just as a reinforcement. And short of a little bit of cleaning, looks like Jeremiah Longstone's good to go. And then we're off to the next one. It's Sean and Steve back at Oakland Cemetery. If you haven't seen our latest one of our videos where we just reset the stone of Jeremiah Long with the cross, same section, we found this individual, Edward Sherman, passed away in 1929. And we noticed that stone, you could actually only see it from here up. So we're going to reset the stone, and part of what we do is we actually use a probing tool like this right here to figure out where the beginning and the end of the stone is, so when we move it, we're not going to unintentionally damage the actual stone base. Well, come to find out, when we're probing the tool, you are able to move the stone by hand. So based off of Mr. Harmon's experience, we're able just to roll the stone out, and we have a footprint exactly of where the stone was. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some fill in here. We have this 2x4, kind of like a makeshift paddle, to pack down the dirt. And then we're going to do that a couple of times, and then reset the stone. So now you won't have all of this buried in the ground, and you'll have a better profile of the stone in itself.
Good enough.
Steve, back again here at Oakland Cemetery. We're over here at Mr. Sherman's stone. You can see it, we had it over here. So what we did is we put some dirt and some fill, and we use actually one of these, what they call like a post level. So not only is it level on the horizontal, also on the vertical. And so when you're packing the ground full of dirt and stuff, when you set the stone back there, assuming it's a flat surface, it'll level out pretty easy. But you'll take some adjusting. The good thing is we had some dirt on the top, relatively soft ground, so it's easy to level Mr. Sherman's stone out. And so now we have it probably another 3 to 4 inches above from where it used to be. Better visibility, better profile, and we should be good to go. We'll closely monitor how the stone sets over time. Until the next one. Hello, this is Sean and Steve again. We're over here at Mr. John Parker's stone, and in fact, can't really see his last name until we actually cleared it up some. But I actually have two tools here to kind of help us locate the dimensions of the stone, because obviously it's buried in the ground. We have a handsaw and we have a probing tool. We kind of pre-marked the back of the stone, but the reason why we do this is so when we lift the stone, two things. We mark where we're going to remove the dirt from, and the other option, or the other thing that we look for, is that when we're shoveling into the ground, is that we don't break or damage or minimize the chance of damage to the stone. So I'll show you here real quick. Take a look at the distance of the probe. I don't know if you'll be able to hear this, but that knocking sound you hear is actually the base of the stone. Come out a little bit further, and you're able to get way further down. And the knocking sound you heard there was actually the tomb in itself. But then here in the back, same thing we did on the front of the stone, we're going to do on the head of the stone, is that we come in at an angle, and then that way we can figure out, so right there's the stone portion, but then you come back a little bit further, and what that tells the individual that's going to be digging around the ground is that we dig that far out, and then we should be able to pull the stone freely with all that weight taken off of it. And that's it, till the next one. Back again. So when we were at the last video, we thought the individual stone that we're resetting is John Parker, and in fact it's John Parker Branson, and that just shows you how deep that stone was reset into the ground. Another thing you may notice, either I shrunk or I grew taller or our tripod shrunk. Because we're not going to get that tall of an item like the cross on top of Mr. Long's stone, with Mr. Branson's stone, we're using our 8-foot tripod. It'll give us more stability. We're using the same type of chain fall. We have this piece of nylon to hopefully grip the stone, so when we lift it off the ground, it should be able to float. And after we do that, then we're going to put the material under the stone, level her out, and then we should be good to go.
Remember, we're going to video it coming up.
Sounds good. All right, so Steve and I, you're going to see Steve and I.
Once you get on that side, I want to be in the camera too.
Oh, that's right.
Slow.
I think it's just the front end, like the front quarter.
There she goes. Bringing up some pressure.
In fact, we could even keep her up.
Yeah, that's, yeah, bring her up. Just don't two block the fall.
Yeah, absolutely. I wasn't watching it this time.
Yeah. Well, we had no choice last time. You were really precise on your measurements. So, man, look, that's a thick ass stone, man. Look how thick that thing is. My God.
Got the right tool. It's even good lengthwise. All right, so how high do you want to go?
Yeah, keep on coming. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll, you know, leave a couple links. You know. We can use some of that fill material on this one.
Okay.
Man, this baby got some.
Okay.
Oh yeah, come on. Oh yeah. Come on. This is good filling on this one. You want to explain what we're going to do next?
Okay. So, right now we have Mr. Branson's stone lifted, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to use fill dirt, some rocks and whatnot to allow stability, and then when we reset the stone, the two things we want to look at is that it's actually level. So if this is your visual of a stone, instead of being like this or down in the ground, now we raise it off the ground. We have to make sure it's level like this, and it's parallel with the other stones that are in line. And that is it.
Good enough.
Sean and Steve back here. As you can see, we have Mr. Branson stone steadying off the ground. What we ended up doing, you can see that the stone was pretty much buried halfway up his name. So from here down, that's how far the stone had sunk. So basically what we did, we put in some pretty compact dirt. We used this small tool right here just to get to the base, and then this other packing tool that you'll see used at a lot of cemeteries to kind of pack the ground, pack the dirt. Above that, we put in some large pieces of concrete, and then more filled dirt, repacked it again, and now we're ready to lower the stone down and check for level and for horizontal alignment. So here we go.
So I thought we'll get it down like this, and then we'll shut the camera off, and then we'll put the level on stuff on there.
Sounds good.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and shut the camera off. Alright. This way.
Steve and Sean, we're back here at Oakland Cemetery. We've reset the stone, and basically what we're doing is even though we set the stone, there's a lot of weight on it, so no matter how much you pack it, no matter what you put on the base, that stone is still going to settle out. What you want to make sure though, it's level, as well, it's also horizontal. So if all you have is a single level here called a torpedo level, you can check it in the horizontal direction, and you can also check it in the vertical direction. But they have these things here called a post level, which would check your horizontal and your vertical direction both ways. And I'll kind of move a little bit closer here. So the only thing is with these headstones, not all the stones are square like a post. That's what these are designed for, called a post level. So that's why we put this post level, and even though this indicator shows that the stone is not level, but that's why we cleaned the base of this as well as we could. Put the torpedo level on, and it shows level on the vertical as well as the horizontal. And after we take actually all the weights off of this, so we're just going to fill the dirt on the side, dress her up, and then we should be good to go.
Good job, man. Good job.